Hi everyone, it's David here from Aussie Blokes Talk, and today I want to talk to you about happiness. This is day 8 of the happiness program, happiness project, and what it's about is helping men and women understand that happiness is a God-given right. Happiness is something that we have within us innately and that we can achieve in our life providing we follow certain paths, certain steps. So if for any reason you're not happy, there is no reason why you can't attain happiness. A lot of people get stuck. A lot of people that I've worked with over the years have been stuck with their own issues, their own problems, their own situations, and not known what to do about it because they've been feeling like there's no help for them. You know, this isn't about lying down on a couch for 20 years and talking about why you're not happy, blaming someone else, pointing the finger at someone else. Happiness is an inside job. It's up to me to be happy. It's up to you to be happy. And you can be happy once you know what is stopping your happiness. So these 19 programs that I'm doing, these 19 live programs, these are all about creating happiness. They're all about creating happiness for you. They're all about helping you to know that happiness is possible. Now, we've got a stress evaluation questionnaire on Aussie Blokes Talk. We'll have it up tomorrow. So basically, it's a stress evaluation questionnaire that I use in my clinic and in my workshops. And it's a simple way of saying, okay, is the major reason why someone's being troubled by something, is it anxiety, is it depression, or is it trauma? What is it, and how much is being affected, and how much is actually stopping someone from being happy? Because if you're carrying those things around, chances are you're not happy, or you're not as happy as you would perhaps like to be. Now, I don't know what level of happiness you'd like to have, but what I can say is you can have a greater level of happiness if you're unhappy now. So I'd just like to go through the different levels of symptoms that make up depression, because depression is a big chunk of unhappiness for most people. You know, I'm on men's group calls regularly, and in the men's groups there's a lot of guys who are unhappy with their life, unhappy with what's happened to them, unhappy, and they can't seem to get out of it, and the only problem that they really have is lack of skills. Now, in the men's group, as they talk about things, as they learn from other guys, as other guys talk about the ways that they've overcome things, the men in the men's group start to evolve. They start to free themselves. They start to recognize they're not the only one in that situation. It's been estimated that 2/3 to 3/4 of the men who go to a doctor with a health symptom actually have undiagnosed depression underneath everything else. So that's why it's so important that we talk in more depth about depression, about unhappiness. And we've got this set up now whereby we've got this 2-camera setup, and you'll see different things coming up on the screen that we haven't had before. And this is all about us upskilling to be able to present things to you in an even better light. So Aussie Blokes Talk is all about producing skills, and we've had to produce our own skills to be able to do this each morning, and we've had to produce our own skills to be able to help ourselves become more happy in ourselves. And a lot of that we've done because we've looked at our symptoms and said, how can I get rid of this symptom? What can I do about this thing? And that's my chief modus operandi, if you like. It's to say, if I'm not happy, what can I do and how can I do it? Not why aren't I unhappy, but what can I do and how can I do it? And what I've done is broken down the symptoms of things that cause people to be unhappy and put them onto a stress evaluation questionnaire. And the stress evaluation questionnaire we're going to have available from tomorrow, if all our technology goes okay. And I'll leave that to the gentleman who does the technology, Barry. So, but the symptoms of depression that I want to talk to you about today and why they can cause you to be unhappy, there's about 10 of them or 12 of them. And if you're carrying any of these symptoms, the beautiful thing is every one of these symptoms can be made to go away. Every one of them. If you want them to go away, they can absolutely go away. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, there are steps you can take to help that to go away. If you're feeling helpless, there are things you can do to help that go away. If you're feeling hopeless, there are things you can do to help that go away. If you're numb or wanting to withdraw or run away, you know, numbness is something I'm very used to. I had it for 45 years before I started to have feelings, real feelings, rather than make-believe feelings. And a lot of people say to me, a lot of men say to me, what's a feeling? How do I know I've got a feeling? Because whatever traumatized them in the past, whatever it may have been, or whatever defensive mechanism they used, it's very easy for a guy to numb themselves so that they don't have to experience something that's painful. So decreased energy is another one. And I said, wanting to withdraw or run away. I've had people who, you know, you start to ask them some questions. And I know for myself, when I've had questions asked of me that I didn't want to face, I just wanted to run away. That impinges on my happiness because I can't face up to people and just be present and just say, you know what? That's not relevant to me. I don't care about that. It's not. And I've got a choice about that. I've got a choice about what questions I answer. I've got a choice about whether I stay somewhere or go away. But I don't want to run away. I don't want to withdraw. I don't want to pull back all the time. I want that to change. And to change that means that I have to be present more in myself. And that's what we teach at Aussie Blokes Talk, how to be more present. So decreased energy, tiredness, fatigue, both symptoms of depression. Difficulty sleeping, that's a big one. Anyone who can't sleep, thoughts going round and round in their head, there's issues there that can be healed. Irritability when questioned. Now that's a big one. You know, if somebody gets really angry because they're being questioned about something, rather than just saying, hey, you know what? I don't care about that. No, that question is not relevant to me. I'm not worried about that, whatever it might be. No, if they explode into anger, there's usually anxiety or depression underneath that. So the important thing is to understand that those issues can all be confronted and dealt with because those are issues which stop happiness. Lack of enjoyment of life. Now that's a big one. Often when people fill in this questionnaire, often when they fill in this questionnaire, there is one that they tick is this lack of enjoyment of life. How can you be happy if you've got a lack of enjoyment of life? You know, it's not possible. We have to enjoy life to be happy. And even if it's only particles of life that we enjoy, that's at least some level of happiness. But some people, they don't have any enjoyment of life. And that is really crippling to the psyche. So that too can go away with the right skills. Nothing seems fun anymore. You know, if that's you, you're living your life and nothing seems fun anymore. Good Lord. That's skill building 101. How can you make things more fun for people? How can you make things more fun for men? How can you do things that are going to be more fun and enjoyment in your life? That's learning skills, learning basics of awareness and how you can create that and how you can take away those things that stop you having fun or feeling of fun. Living in a dark cloud, well, that's self-explanatory. A lot of men live in a dark cloud. They feel like this dark cloud has descended on them. That too can go away. Thoughts of suicide, at the end, the biggest thing that causes thoughts of suicide is an inner critic, inner judge, or just the sense or the feeling that life is meaningless and it doesn't mean anything, or that, hey, if I thought to myself, I'm a nuisance, I don't deserve to be here, I don't want to be here anymore, then the life force that is in me will look for a way out, and one of those ways can be suicide. It doesn't have to be the only way, though, because if it's the only way, then life ceases to have meaning. Because life really only has meaning depending on the meaning we give to it. And if you can't give meaning to your life, then chances are you have an underlying depression which has caused you to think there is something wrong with you, caused you to think that you're not entitled to happiness, caused you to think that I don't deserve, I don't belong. And what I can tell you as a therapist of over 30 years, that thought doesn't have to be there. That thought can be let go of. That mental pain that you are suffering from, that can all be let go of. And that, if that's been impeding your happiness, then happiness can flow back in. Because you're not born to be carrying that thought all the time. Addictions, alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, having to please, having to make everybody else happy. All these things cover up depression. All these things can cover up an underlying situation where you are depressed, or you are feeling depressed, or you're feeling unworthy, or you're feeling not worthwhile, or you have a lack of self-worth, or you need to belong. I used to do a lot of stop smoking work with the hypnotherapy, or stop drinking work with the hypnotherapy that I do. And the underlying condition for most was they felt better when they drank, they felt better when they smoked, they felt better when they did something else. And one of the reasons is because they didn't feel good just being themselves. It makes sense, doesn't it? If you don't feel good just being yourself, then it's easy to look for a crutch, a way out. And often that way out is alcohol or drugs or sex or porn or cigarettes or something else, or all together, all of them. Some people are really good at it. They do the lot. The question is that all you want in your life? Or would you like something more? Would you like to, for example, be happy? Because if you would, then holding on to those addictions isn't going to work for you. It's just not going to work for you. The more that you can be free of those addictions, free to be yourself without that, to perhaps, if you're not an alcoholic, you haven't gone to AA or anything else, perhaps have a drink now and again and enjoy it and laugh and play around and muck around and be present. And not run away, and not need to go back to the full bottle. It's a different thing if you've been diagnosed with an addiction, you've gone through a program, then that might not be something you can do. But for most people, just limited enjoyment can be fun, can be more fun. So I offer that to you to say that all addictions can be overcome when you find the cause, when you build the skills, when you create the tools that men can use to get themselves out of those situations. Addictions can be overcome. And then you've got social withdrawal and self-isolation. So many men have said, I didn't want to come out of the house. I didn't want to go to the game. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. We even have it at men's group where men will say, I didn't want to be here tonight, but I'm so glad I came because I got so much out of it. And that's what creates happiness. Social communication, social mixing, whether it's on a Zoom call whether it's working with others who need your help, being of service, helping others. There's so much you can do to inspire your own happiness by getting out of the house when you can, by getting out of your head when you can, by feeling what you're feeling in your body when you have the skills to do that, the tools. So with Aussie Blokes Talk, we're about these videos on awakening. These videos are all about awakening you to opportunity, awakening you to possibility. And then from that, it's more about the action you take. You know, when we put that form up, that stress evaluation form up on our website, is that something you would go to and fill in? If it is, that's an action you can take. Just knowing you've got that opportunity can help you understand how deep into anxiety or depression you are, how much trauma has affected your life. It's all on that form. And then to go to what you can do about it. And we're going to talk more about that as we go along over the coming weeks. So this is day 8 of a happiness project. You know, on Aussie Blokes Talk, we're all about health and happiness. We're all about helping you become more healthy and to become happier. So we look forward to your comments, to your questions, to your interaction with us. We are looking to develop ourselves with new skills, new abilities, new tools, and we're looking to bring that to you so you can develop yourself with new skills, new tools, and actions that can help you to bring those tools into your life and lead you to a happier life. So it's David here, day 8 on the Happiness Project. Bye for now.